The Legend of Zelda series is one of my favorite games to play. I have played a majority of the games ranging back to Wind Waker on the GameCube and the Minish Cap on Game Boy Advance. Both the 3D and 2D games have a wonderful place in my heart. I have spent over hundreds of hours in Breath of the Wild, and while I knew Link's Awakening was not going to be the same experience as Nintendo's last entry in the series, I was still excited to play. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a wonderful reimagining of the original Game Boy Classic that was released back in 1993. The Switch version offers a new visual style that is inviting to newcomers and a game design that will draw in fans of the original. You have a small and well thought out island to explore with a diverse group of islanders and creatures to meet and enemies to fight. The gameplay is like most other classic Zelda games. You do not have a quest log or waypoint that directs you to the next step. You simply have to walk around and explore. This style can be both wonderful to experienced players who are not used to using any guides or HUDs. However, for some newcomers whose first experience may have been more recent Zelda entries, such as Breath of the Wild, will find that this game does not hold your hand. There are many times where I would have to backtrack or I got stuck for a short period because the next step was not obvious to me. While you are exploring, you will come across a wide array of enemies. Thankfully, the combat is both fluid and simple to master. Use the B button to attack, and the right shoulder buttons to bring up your shield. Some enemies require a little more thought than just slashing away, so you'll need to use your other items causing them to become dazed or staggered before you can attack. I never felt that the enemies were too challenging or too easy. If you ever did become surrounded by a group of enemies, which thankfully does not happen too often, you may need to back off and attack from afar using your boomerang or bow. Boss fights were mainly enjoyable and at worst, slightly annoying. A lot of the boss fights that you go through require that you use your most recently found tool to defeat them, such as using a hook shot to pull a worm out from a wall, or by using bombs on a giant skeleton that could deflect your sword. The art style is quite nice. It is simple and clean and pops while docked to a TV as well as while in handheld mode. The colors are vibrant and allow for you to see everything that is going on with these. There were some jagged edges around items or buildings, but that's to be expected with the Switch's hardware. Nintendo also placed a blurred effect around the edges of the screen, which I was not the hugest fan of. One noticeable issue that I had with the visuals was stuttering. It was not game-breaking, but simply odd to see frame rate drops from a company that normally does their best to polish away issues. These frame rate drops would normally happen while I was exploring the world, but thankfully they didn't happen while inside any dungeons or in boss fights. The map you play in is dense and well crafted. It's full of locations and hidden spots for you to explore. There are towns filled with charming individuals and dangerous caves filled with treasure for you to find. You can find witches' huts and abandoned buildings to an entire town full of talking animals. There are also many secrets that you can find while exploring, such as you can pick up plants to find hidden stairwells or place bombs to blast away parts of a wall leading to hidden rooms. The game allows you to use your items that you find along the way as well to help you in your travels. You can use your hookshot or roc's feather to traverse over gaps or lift heavy rocks with your power bracelet. Link's Awakening also includes a warp system so that you can easily get to parts of the map without having to walk back and forth. I appreciated this feature as it made traveling smoother, since certain parts of the map required you to do some legwork in order to get there originally. Overall, I had an enjoyable time with Link's Awakening. The characters you meet are charming and full of spirit, and the world you play in is a gorgeous recreation of the original version. The transition from Game Boy to Switch feels well done and leaves nothing out. If anything, the improvements with controls and the overall visuals makes this a much preferred version.